Welcome to this week's Safety Shock Walk video. In today's video, we're going to be going over a policy change involving using body harnesses and lanyards while operating the boom lift and the scissor lifts. So, here's what the change is. For boom lifts, you will continue to be required to wear a body harness and lanyard every time you're operating that unit, going up, driving around, moving around, and so forth. And as our existing policy says, you will also be required to wear that body harness when you're exiting the boom lift onto a walking elevated surface above 4 feet. You will always be attached to your unit with a double lanyard on your harness and attached to your secondary point of contact, and then detached to dismount and walk onto the other surface. That's always been, and that's going to remain. Now, for the scissor lift, we are making a change for the scissor lift. And on the scissor lift, you will not be required to wear a body harness and lanyard for normal operations of that scissor lift, going up, down, driving, and so forth. You are no longer required to wear it. However, the only requirement for you to wear this harness and lanyard for the scissor lift will be when you're dismounting the scissor lift to walk onto a elevated platform above 4 feet. For instance, our ovens, our autoclaves, or etc., or other surfaces that are above 4 feet. At that time, the same rule will apply. So if you're being assigned to a job that's going to require you to exit the unit, please make sure that you're wearing your harness and your double yo-yo lanyard so that you can attach, like I just described with the boom lift, be attached. Then you, before you dismount the unit, you attach to the secondary connection line, and then you detach safely and so forth. So that's how you properly use that. You follow the same steps in reverse. You never detach. The key is that you're always attached to a point of contact for both units when you're dismounting. So when you're gonna re-enter your unit, you keep yourself attached to your overhead and never detach until you're inside your unit, and then you attach securely to your unit. Once you're attached, you can go ahead and detach. And that is especially for the boom lift. Now, on the scissor lift, keep yourself attached, and once you're inside the unit, if you're no longer going to step out of it, at that point, you don't have to reattach yourself anywhere else, and that is for the scissor lift. So hopefully this gives you an understanding of how the policy is going to work. Now, the other update to the policy, we had a previous policy where the moment you step onto the unit, you must be harnessed. And if you weren't wearing a harness and lanyard attached to your unit, it was going to be an immediate sent home. Now, for the boom lift, it's still a violation, and it will be recorded as a violation, and you will not be sent home. The same rules apply of repeated violations and so forth. However, you will be sent home for gross negligence, which means a gross negligence offense on a boom lift for us would be walking onto a secondary surface or an elevated surface without wearing the harness and not being attached. That's gross negligence. It can lead to death if you were to fall from an elevated surface, and we don't want that. So that we will consider that to be a gross negligent act, and it will be an immediate sent home. This rule also applies to the scissor lift. If you know that you're going to dismount the unit, you must wear the harness. It is not an option, and you must be attached at all times, as I described earlier. Failure to be attached with your lanyard and your harness, again, for that will result in a sent home. So I hope this explains the policy to all of you and sheds some light to that. We really care for everyone and expect everyone to follow the safety policies that we have put in place. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.